Welcome to Spiritual Success, the podcast. I'm your host, Cynthia Stant. As a dedicated student of metaphysics, I have skillfully honed my intuition, mastered the art of meditation, and cultivated a disciplined spiritual practice that has led me to become a multi-seven-figure top sales producer. Today, I work with thousands of business professionals, entrepreneurs, and their teams to up-level their sales game and create magic in their business and life. On this show, you will see that all success truly happens when you authentically align with your intuition. So come, be vulnerable, be open-minded, and allow success to pour through you here on Spiritual Success. Hello, successful souls. So this is going to be an episode where I'm going to bring in a story about my little one. So my oldest son is Derek. At the time I am filming this, he's 8 years old, just recently turned 8. I remember probably 2 years ago, so when he was 6, I was sitting with him and I taught him about perspective. And of course, while I was teaching him, he ended up teaching me as well, right? That's like the beautiful thing about children. So we were both sitting on the same couch. And he said to me, "Mommy, what does perspective mean?" I must have used it in a sentence, and I like to call him Derek the parrot. He's grown up to like it now, and he makes fun of it too, but it used to bother him so much. But Derek the parrot, because kids are absorbing everything, and he likes to repeat everything too. So we were talking about perspective, and I gave him an example. I like to teach through example. I like to be very visual. That's how I learn, so that's how I like to teach. So we were both sitting on the couch, and at the time it was around Valentine's Day, so I had like a heart decoration hanging from the mantle. And I said, "Sweetheart, do you see the decoration, that's right in front of both of us?" He goes, "Yes, I can see it." I can tell from the angle that he was sitting at that he couldn't see behind the decoration the same way that I could. So I said, "Do you see the shadow behind it as well?" And he goes, "No, Mommy, there's no shadow. What are you talking about?" And I said, "No, there is a shadow." He goes, "No, there's not. I do not see a shadow." I said, "Interesting. Now, why don't you sit where Mommy is?" And he sat there and goes, "Oh, there is a shadow." He said, "But when I sat there, I didn't see it." And I was like, "Exactly. We were both staring at the same exact thing, but we both had a different perspective of it from the view angle where we were at." He said, "Ah, I get it now. It is my view, my take on the world from my lens of how I see things." Yes, sweetheart, that's right. But then, of course, he continues and he says, "You know what's so interesting, Mommy? We've never really seen ourselves." And he goes, "Yes, we've seen our reflection in the mirror, but you can't actually look at yourself. So I wonder what the world's perspective is of me." And there I am, like, whoa. Kids say the darndest things, don't they? Poor kid. He's going to show up to school and have whole talks about, mindset and everything to his kindergartner friends. But yeah, so, there's a lot to learn here. John Lennon says, the more real you get, the more unreal the rest of the world gets, which is fun. When you think about it, you really are in control. And it's very difficult to understand in the beginning because thus far you've been conditioned to think that everything's happening to you. Something sucks, something shitty, something doesn't go well. It's just like it's happening to you. You poor thing. You're such a victim. Everything's happening to you. It's not. When you really own your power and you really have a greater awareness, you understand that you can control everything. Things don't control you. You control them. You control your thoughts that label your perspective. Is it an obstacle or is it an opportunity? You're the shot caller. You need to understand that this is a movie and you are the leading lady. You are the head actress or actor. And it is you who are in this film, but not are you the only, leading role. You're the director. You're the shot caller. Please remember, again, this show is primarily for entrepreneurs and CEOs, but regardless if you're the CEO of your business, you are still the CEO of your life. You are the visionary. You are the one that calls the shots that is, going to make or break it. It's up to you and you only. And you have to go move through it being in control. The CEO is in control. No one's in control of the CEO. So live it, own it, be it, claim it, do it. It's already done. You have to be that way in order to really have a fun understanding of how you can co-create with the universe. So if you are the director, I want you to remember everybody in your film is either partaking by just being someone in the background or somebody that's really participating. There's some that are going to win Oscars or some that no one's going to remember the name of. You can decide who plays a role in your movie, who is no longer interesting, who no longer is supporting the leading character, who no longer is part of the plot. Just because we feel that, certain people are supposed to be with us because that's what people have taught us and that's what we've been conditioned to think, if they're no longer serving the story and if they're no longer going to up level with the character, it's almost like a game of Mario. It's time to go to the next, level. When you level up, there's different characters. There's different, bad guys. There's different story plots. That needs to happen. When you are asking for change and you expect to change, everything just doesn't change on the outside without you changing on the inside first. And this very often includes the characters that are in your life. There are people in my life who I have loved very deeply who literally just disappeared. They disappeared, and I cannot fathom that I did anything. And if I did, I would want to know, but I don't even get the opportunity to have that. But I don't sit there and cry and say, oh my gosh, I'm such a victim, this person's so terrible. I understand that they're living their own movie and that they're the director and they decided to cut me as a role in their movie. And for me, it was a sign of leveling up, going to the next round, because it meant that I defeated something and certain characters are no longer there. Don't get stuck on it. Don't get hold on it. But the thing is, just remember, you can't allow these circumstances to control you. You need to be in control of them. What's really important to understand too is that you are the leading role of your movie and everybody else is the leading role of theirs. So when you have one conversation, you need to understand there are two truths, right? Well, there are three, right? That's what they always say. Yours, theirs, and the real truth. So just remember, every conversation has two perspectives. Everything that happens in life has multiple perspectives. And you need to understand, in order to be successful, that you need to not only be in control of your perspective and not allow it to control you, but be empathetic, understanding, and be able to put yourself in the shoes and the lens of other people in order to have effective communication and emotional intelligence. You need to make sure that you are able to relate. And even if you don't agree with it, you can understand where they're coming from. Remember, everybody's doing the best that they can at the conscious level that they are at. Therefore, you just need to understand where they're at. And as you are exceeding, as you're ascending, as you're awakening, as you are striving to be your best, you're going to raise up, you're going to level up, and not everybody around you will. That will happen. But you need to understand that they didn't wake up to say, man, I really hope I suck today. They didn't wake up and say, I hope I pissed everybody I love off. I hope I, just cut friends out. That's not what they woke up to do. But in their perspective, they are doing the best that they can. So as a CEO of a business, as a CEO of your life, it's really important to be empathetic, to be understanding perspective, to be understanding that you are in control. Nobody else is in control. Nothing is happening to you. It is because of you. You act and then everything responds. You ask, the universe gives. Are you opening yourself to being aware of that is happening for you? Are you seeing the signs? And are you, responding versus reacting? That's so important. So perspective, I want you to think about it. How many times are you pointing fingers and blaming? Please take control and watch the world change for you. And anything that other people you're not agreeing with, just know they're doing the best that they can. And their story is completely different. And just remember, when you meet somebody, you're getting the second half of it. For instance, if you are married, right? When did you meet your husband? In your 20s, in your 30s? That means you lived literally 20, 30 years before you even were part of his story, a part of his movie. There's a lot of conditioning there. There's a lot of, things that he has experienced and had happen that's going to affect his perspective and affect the role that he plays in your life. But remember, you are not the leading role in anybody else's life. You're the only leading role in your life. And in order to keep tight relationships, and it's about having perspective that you are, in their movie. That's so important. You are never going to be somebody else's. And if you are, you're going to have a lot of issues. You're going to have a lot of issues because that's controlling. That's self-centered. That's, when you're being selfish. You need to help everybody else be the best role in their life. If you have children, how would you feel whatsoever if, their spouse or a new girlfriend or new boyfriend came in and said that they were going to control their movie? Absolutely not. You wouldn't stand for it. You would support your child to be the best that they can, to live the best version of their life, right? Not have somebody come in and just start directing them and producing them and telling them how to be it. Remember, you have to be to others what you would want them to be to you. If you want to be the leading role, you have to respect that they're the leading role, and your two movies may not collide. But every time there's a conversation, it's happening in two movies, that there's two perspectives. So that's so important. And that was just something I wanted to leave with you today. So let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you're loving the show. I would absolutely love if you could subscribe, leave a review, an honest review. And then also, you know it, make sure you come join me in the Spiritual Success Sorority, my Facebook group, where we have, workshops where it's all about mastering your meditation. And every single week we go live on topics that you pick. I don't like to just talk about things I think you like. I like to talk about things I know you like. But in addition to that, I want you to come and have podcasts dedicated to you. Many of my podcasts are dedicated to members in the Spiritual Success Sorority Facebook group, because they write into my team and they say, I want more inspiration, insight, motivation on these particular topics. And of course, I want to make sure that I am thanking you and really coming up with content that I know you want to hear. So again, I'm Cynthia Stant. Thanks for listening today. And in the meantime, I'd love for you to acknowledge it, embrace it, see it through. Hey, successful soul. Before you head to the next episode of Spiritual Success, be sure to come join me and other like-minded entrepreneurs and business professionals in my Facebook group called Spiritual Success Sorority. Everyone is welcome. And if you're loving the show, you're going to love the group even more. There, I'll be engaging with you weekly in live shows, listening to your input for new weekly topics, and hosting exclusive workshops for members only. So if you're looking to really uplevel your financial and personal success, meet me on over in the Spiritual Success Sorority Facebook group. See you on the inside.